Welcome back to Point Blank on Eyewitness News. Tonight on Point Blank, we have a guest we've known quite prominently since 2016, or even before that time, where he led demonstrations and protests in a quest to have a clean voters register and to make people's votes count. After that, the MPP won the election. It was moved to the Ghana Publishing Company Limited as its chief executive. And he's had quite a good story there. In fact, many have used him as an example of how people can transform public institutions. They wanted to go to parliament. That didn't quite work out well. And today they did something at the Ghana Publishing Company. Launched what we call the e-Gazette. We'll talk about all of that today, including his views on the elections that will come upon us in 2 days' time. Here's David Asante. David, good evening. Welcome to Point Blank. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good evening, Salom. Good evening. Good evening. It's a pleasure, great pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I mean, we've been at this for quite some time, trying to arrange this, but it's one thing after the other. But that's fine. I mean, the season explains it. But I mean, of course, a lot of people knew you from your days at Let My Vote Count, etc. Convener of that group, advocating certain causes in respect of the electoral process, etc. Now, I mean, so you won the election in 2016, you were moved to Ghana Publishing, etc., etc. But people think that we still are not there yet in terms of the electoral reforms we need. I mean, how we can make votes count. When you look at all that you've done at Let My Vote Count and the issues that others are raising about the electoral process today, how does that make you feel?
Salam, good evening to our listeners and good evening to those watching us live. I'm grateful for the opportunity, having been here in a long while, and I'm glad where you have taken us from. That is Let My Vote Count Alliance, where we have actually fought and worked hard from. Salam, the values we did preach 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I'm sure we have not departed from them. I still hold firmly the views I advocated together with my colleagues a few years ago. Elections must be credible. And at the heart of the credible election lies the base document, the disposition of the arbiter or the electoral commission, and of course the attitude of the parties to the election. So the referee, standing in the middle of the game, must demonstrate ample neutrality to win the confidence of the players. I am happy from where I sit as a political party person. I am happy with the position of the current electoral commissioner and of course the commission. They may not have gotten it 100% right, but so far I think it's been good. From the previous experiences of the two major political parties falling out of the elections we both have lost. The NPP lost 2012 election. We took the matter to court. The Supreme Court, after sitting for well over 48 times, spanning through a period of 9 months, finally the verdict came out. The lessons we learned was that, or the lessons were that, do the best you can to win the elections at the polling station and protect the integrity and the sanctity of the process at the base of the election. I remember Mr. Nyametiasi Eshen, Director of Research in Parliament, in 2016 October, a case was ruled in his favor. The case was that the Electoral Commission was expected to display the result of every polling station on the wall at the polling center. So, in Nkoko, I vote in a polling station called Education Center in a town called Ataniata. The Electoral Commission was instructed by the Supreme Court through the relief sought by Mr. Ishen Nyamitiasi, a director of research in Parliament, the court instructed that after close of polls at 5 p.m., display the results on the wall at the polling station. That was the basis upon which, after a few hours after 5 o'clock, the Electoral Commission closed the polls on December 2016. My party, MPP, was able to, in a few hours, technically and diligently,
put all of
the figures together. We went into election 2016 with about 26,008 polling stations. In about 4 hours or 3 hours thereabouts after close of poll, we had gathered and collated the result from over 16,000 polling stations, more than half. So we could confidently say we had won the election. So the lessons I'm sure the NDC must have also learned from their 2020 presidential election petition was that campaign well, sell your message, get the polling station activated through your polling agents. Because at the end of the day, the Supreme Court exposed a certain degree of anomalies from the persons manning the polling station for the political parties, where people could not write the figures properly. So elections are won at the polling station. All the vigorous campaigns the two leading candidates have waged over the last few years
comes down to the polling
absolutely
station. So what then is the role of the referee, the EC? Many times we go after the EC. The EC has said that they cannot rig elections and that parties must just be vigilant, etc. You buy into that EC cannot rig an election, not even the process.
I have had the opportunity to discuss the conduct of electoral commissioners and commissioner and their role in elections. The electoral commission and commissioner cannot rig the election, but the conduct of the commissioners must instill confidence and hope in the players. If you give me enough confidence that what I get at the polling station is what you transmit, I cannot have the confidence to call the Electoral Commission as a party to a potential rigging of the election. But if indeed the Electoral Commission and Commissioner, if they are compromised, then of course there will be the potential for the actors to say the commission is preparing to rig the election. We have had instances in 2016 election where the Supreme Court of the land ruled in the case of Abu Ramadan and Evans Nemakon versus the Electoral Commission that over 500,000 names needed to be deleted from the voters register. The EC says, I won't do it. I do not think these statements had to sit well with the parties to such a sensitive election like the 2016. Then we fought it. If Jane Mensah, the current electoral commissioner, has a Supreme Court verdict that says delete some names from the voters register, and Madam Jane Mensah says I won't do it, of course the NDC and all the other political parties will reserve the moral right to have questions about the integrity of the commissioner, who is expected to be an independent arbiter in the process. It will be problematic. So for me, the conduct of the commissioners has a major role to play as far as the integrity of the process is concerned. Let the commissioner and the commissioners properly dispose themselves in a manner that would make the parties have confidence in their neutrality.
That's great. That's a great point. But how about if people also feel that the EC, for example, is being packed by persons whose political affiliations are known, and those persons have been put there, for whatever reason, but they are related to the governing party? Would that also work to affect the confidence of the public in the EC?
If you pick a David Asante, a card-bearing member, to make him the commissioner of Electoral Commission of Ghana, a card-bearing member, I'm sure, obviously, there will be challenges.
He may not be a card-bearing member, but somebody who overtly is demonstrated his allegiance or sympathies towards a certain political party.
It is difficult to establish biases. Some could be perceptual, some could be real. So, the burden to establish the perceptual bias lies on whoever is alleging.
Even when those persons allegedly were patrons of TESCON or the University Tertiary Education arm of the ruling party.
I have had cause to worry about the disposition of the former electoral commissioner. The few times we had to question the process and we had to question the personality, we didn't talk about allegiances and loyalties. We talked about professional competence and disposition. I'm thinking these are the issues we should talk about.
Yeah, but perceptions are important, right? So if
I agree.
So if the persons are known to be affiliated in a certain way, I'm not sure about card-bearing members because I don't have that evidence. The persons are known to openly associate with a certain political leaning, and you go put those persons on the EC. I mean, that is cause for worry, and people will be justified in raising issues. That's perception.
I do not know the exact point you seek to establish, but maybe it will be clearer if I am told the electoral commissioner, Madam Jane Mensah, is a card-bearing member of a political party A or B. Then probably we may call for whoever alleged to have come out to prove that I have seen this woman as a card-bearing member of a political party A, B, or C. So we have issues with her neutrality and the ability of the person in question to dispense her duty independently.
So, for example, I mean, a couple of years ago, the president appointed one Dr. Peter Piahini and Hajia Salim Ahmed Tijani to occupy various positions at the EC. The NDC obviously raised issues with it because they said these were known party members of the NPP and that it did not augur well for the confidence of the EC to have these party people there. I mean, in fact, the Coalition for Domestic Election Observers admonished the two to resign, but nothing has happened. So, whilst we are talking about the conduct and confidence and trust, etc., indeed, Afrobarometer says that the confidence or trust levels of Ghanaians in the EC is dropped to an all-time low of 28%. And we're getting into an election. These are issues that we think, or that I think, may have contributed to this low trust levels, unless of course you disagree.
So I have a lot of reasons to disagree with Afrobarometer's findings as far as this particular matter is concerned. Maybe you may have to give me further and better particulars for me to appreciate the sample size with which they conducted such research. How many people did they interview before arriving at such a hypothetical analysis to give me such conclusion for me to have confidence in it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Ghana has registered over 15 million or so voters to go to the ballot to cast our polls. Then at the end of the day, I am told that this electoral commission, who has deepened the inter-party advisory platform and its participation of political parties, IPAC is a creation of the EC itself from time immemorial, from 1992, 94, 96. The political parties themselves, through the call by the electoral commission, say let's have an inter-party advisory platform where we can have discussions. We had cause to challenge positions of the electoral commission on the street. Not once, not twice, not on 3 occasions. Countless number of occasions have we, as political party actors, challenged the disposition of the electoral commission. Even then, we didn't hear the confidence in the electoral commissioner as an independent arbiter whittling down. Today, how many people have openly, through the court, challenged the professional disposition of the electoral commission?
So because the courts have not pronounced, you doubt the Afrobarometer's verdict?
Yeah, but of course, I have every right as a student of politics and somebody who has followed politics for close to 3 decades.
Yeah, that's but only to point out that the Afrobarometer is one of the most credible
perfect. I have no business doubting their integrity.
Some food for thought.
Perfect. Salom, I have absolutely no right to doubt their integrity or professionalism. However, the particular
I
case
actually meant to be my comments, but I mean, so let's get to it. I mean, you've been at the Ghana Publishing Company. I mean, those of us who come there quite often have seen transformation, and kudos to you on the great job you've done. Now you're doing something big. I mean, today you launched the e-Gazette. What really is the e-Gazette? What is it supposed to do?
Thank you very much, Salom. This is an interesting thing. Dr. Bawumia, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, is leading a great charge in our transformational agenda over the last few years. Salom, life gets better when leaders reason very well. I have had the occasion to witness being in a hospital where drones flew packs of blood to save lives. I'm talking about what I witnessed in Nkoko Holy Family Hospital. I saw a zipline drone that delivered pack of blood to save life. People in government are reasoning well. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's digitization drive is what we in Ghana Publishing at the management and board level have taken inspiration from. When we assumed office, everything was manual. So we decided to gradually gravitate the company onto the digitalization platform that Dr. Bawumia is leading us to arrive at. So we started what we call paperless gazette. Because initially you go to Ghana Publishing and we do business like you pay and we give you receipts, we write receipts for you. When we piloted the paperless gazette and it worked, we quickly put ourselves together. Don't forget, Ghana Publishing is a company strictly on IGF. If you have a wage bill of close to 1.5 million Ghana cedis, the managing director and his management and board must find
money to pay.
Monies, ingenious ways to raise revenue internally. So we did a trend analysis of our financial and revenue streams, and we realized that the gazette is a mainstay. Our biggest source of revenue. People coming to change their names from Miss to Mrs., people changing their date of birth, and then document from the presidency, from embassies, and all that. So why don't we put all these services on a platform where people can conveniently access them? Then people will even increase the quantum of times they come to change their names and render that service in particular. So we launched our branch in Kumasi. Don't forget, close to 60 years of the existence of Ghana Publishing.
There's no
this
branch
is
in
the
Kumasi.
first time a management has expanded to launch a new branch. The company is now profitable. The company is now doing well. New machines and equipment established. So when we started the paperless gazette and we piloted it and it was successful, then we decided the platform upon which we apply for gazettes and we electronically process it, why don't we develop a software and a platform where you can apply for the gazette electronically, it will be processed electronically, and it will be delivered to you electronically. So we have gravitated from the manual gazette and got to paperless gazette, went to Kumasi so that we do a remote gazette application and processing. And after about 6 months of piloting and running it successfully, we decided to go full throttle by inaugurating what we call the e-gazette. That is what we did this afternoon. And I'm happy to announce the man, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. I'm happy the inspiration we managers of state institutions take from him. He says to lead is to solve. He says it is possible. At Ghana Publishing, over the last decades, revenues were leaking. People were doing fake gazettes. The company was running at loss. Perpetually, losses were being recorded. As we speak now, 2023 last year, the company made profit. 2022, the company made profit. So, when you streamline the resources of the company and put everything on a digital platform, the resources will be well catered for and well managed. As it stands now, I am happy to announce we are making profit before the year comes to an end, because our last quarter financial report is ready. We can confidently say 3 years successively in a row, the company that was struggling to pay salary of its staff, we printed 3 regions, ballot papers. The Electoral Commission gave us the contract because we have enhanced our technical disposition. We've acquired new machines. We printed 3 regions. Previously, 1 region was given to Ghana Publishing. They couldn't execute it. The EC took the contract and distributed it to other private companies engaged in the printing. The company we inherited 2017, we have performed better. And I am happy as a member of the New Patriotic Party and as an advocate and a campaign lead for His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I am happy. The few times I get the opportunity to speak, what I say to people is, we of the MPP have a brilliant tradition and a record to protect. The election of 2024 will be hinged on 3 things. The record of the political parties. NDC will speak about their record. MPP will speak about their record. We talk about the policies the political parties are espousing to the people of Ghana. What are the policies NDC is talking about? What are the policies Dr. Bawumia and the MPP are talking about? And finally, one most important thing, and the third point I have to raise, is the integrity of the individual flag bearers. The integrity, the personal and character disposition of the man seeking to be president of this country.
So when it comes to personal integrity and character, you think Bawumia will do better? Because people think that he's made promises. He said things in the past that he's not been able to achieve. And he's run away from those and saying other things today.
Salom, if a government set out to build 111 hospitals, and today, as we speak, we have commissioned over 67 hospitals.
Over 67 of the Agenda 111 hospitals?
I'm talking to you about a government that has established hospitals
which are not part of the Agenda 111.
Beyond Agenda 111, this government has a tall list of health facilities we have established.
Yes, so that would be good. But the economy appears to be the driving force of it.
I'm making a point. I'm making a point.
Really, yes.
I'm making a point. Listen, if you talk about road infrastructure, this is a big platform. If you give me the opportunity to mention roads, I can say it on authority and in confidence. No government in the history of this country has constructed more roads than this MPP government Dr. Bawumia is leading. Let's talk about sports infrastructure. Salom, we have a lot to talk about.
Sports infrastructure. How about the
we inherited about 3 AstroTurf across the country and around the country. Today, we have over 153 of them. Salom, are you aware the success story I'm sharing with you as the managing director of a state institution? I am not alone. When you go to state housing, they inherited 3 buildings. When you go to a place like Ghana Library Authority, they had 67 libraries. As we speak now, we have close to 100 libraries. So cumulatively, when the state agencies are performing well, cumulatively, then you can say the government is doing well. Hospitals, we have delivered better in terms of health. And as for education, Salom.
Free SHS.
Salom, I said it on the platform yesterday that I attended Ghana National College about 27 years ago, and I had classmates who dropped out of secondary school because their parents couldn't pay. You are seated behind this beautiful platform and the whole world is listening to you because of quality education. If a man is interested in investing in your education, you think such a political party we should vote against it?
I think there's no debate about quality education. The
Absolutely,
debate is
my
about
point.
how it's been implemented.
You're talking about implementation, but I want to bring to your attention the point that this election, Ghanaians will go to the polls and vote to protect the gains the MPP has delivered. On that note, I think Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia stands tall in terms of integrity of the personality Dr. Bawumia, in terms of quality of the message and the campaign policy we are advocating. And as for record, I do not think any political party comes anywhere near the MPP.
Very well. That's David Asante. Yes, Chief Executive of the Ghana Publishing Company. But his last comments were very political. He's been my guest on Point Blank tonight. They launched an e-gazette today. If you want to look it up, go to www.ghanapublishingcompany.com.